That's the Whispers, and then they're gone, and the beat goes on. Jamie and Louise with you on BBC Radio Wales. It's approaching 8 minutes past 11. Welcome to Rhydian Roberts. Hello.
Good morning. How are you?
Very well indeed, thank you.
Really lovely to see you. And you haven't got a cup of tea in your hand. I heard on Twitter this morning that you are addicted to tea. Is that true?
I am. Isn't that funny? You should get a message. I finished it already.
Really?
Yeah, one of your producers kindly made me one, and it's gone. But I've got my water.
How do you take your tea?
Milk, no sugar. 2 stirs to the left, 1 to the right. No, I'm joking. But it's, builder's tea, just normal tea. I find it helps the voice. A lot of people would say that caffeine sort of dehydrates the voice, but for me, it seems to work and soothe the voice. So.
You look very calm for a man who's in the middle of frantic rehearsals.
Well, I feel calm. I guess it's because the War of the Worlds, it seems to gel. The casts are fantastic, the production company, Jeff Wayne himself, who's very, very hands-on with it all, has been incredibly kind and helpful. So, yeah, I feel calm.
Tell us about how it came about, because War of the Worlds, wow, it's a big thing. And I just wonder how you came about being part of it, and tell us a bit about who you play.
Well, when I was in X Factor in 2007, Jeff Wayne was watching and he saw me sing and thought I'd be perfect for the role. So he got in touch. I couldn't play it that year, but then I was available this year to play it. And he wanted me to play the role of Parson Nathaniel, which is a great role. Vocally, it suits me very well. Mm-hmm. It's a parson who basically loses his faith. There's an attack, a Martian invasion, and I see it as a result of a human sin. And so I go over to the dark side and become quite demonic. Very dramatic. It ends up with us getting killed and incinerated and stuff, so quite drastic. But it's based on the H.G. Wells book, War of the Worlds. And so you've got Richard Burton on stage. Not in person, obviously, but 26 years after his death, there's a 3D, 11-foot-high hologram that floats on the stage, and I interact with him, which, as a Welshman, is absolutely fantastic.
We've got a little bit of a taster here. Should we have a listen? This is Rhydian in War of the Worlds.
The voice of the devil is heard in our land.
No, Nathaniel. Oh, no, Nathaniel.
Listen, do you hear them drawing near in their search for the sinners? Feeding on the power of our fear and evil within us. Incarnation of Satan's creation of all that we dread. When the demons arrive, those alive would be better off dead.
Wow, powerful stuff, isn't it?
I haven't heard that before.
Have you not?
No, I don't know where you got that from, but...
Is there anything else you'd like to know about your career while you're on the show?
Okay, yeah,
Did you like it?
Well, I remember that day well, because basically that was the recording the first audition.
Mm-hmm.
You sounded quite good.
Well, it's come out okay, but...
Once you rehearse more, it'll be brilliant.
Well, hopefully it'll improve. But Jeff got us to his studio in Hertfordshire, and we just went through it line by line, and that's what you've got there. So
what we can't see, of course, on the wireless is the extraordinary special effects on stage. I mean, you've got to keep on topping these huge, great big stage shows, haven't you? And this is pretty dramatic.
Yeah, it's hugely technical with massive sets and scenery. Bigger than ever this year, I hasten to add.
And you're incinerating someone on stage.
Well, I don't incinerate someone.
No.
I think I've popped my clogs by that time. But at the end, somebody is incinerated on stage live in front of the audience, which
Painful.
Well, I wonder if I can have a word with you about this. We've been talking about how to get rid of the weatherman, Derek Brockway.
That's
seems
harsh.
to be I could borrow the
wicked,
equipment on a
isn't he?
Sunday or something like that.
Yes.
Does he do a good
It's like he was
Brockway?
in the room.
I like that.
Oh, very,
I love
very
Derek.
good.
You can't incinerate Derek Brockway.
Of course he can't. Take no notice of him.
You're not using the equipment on Sundays, though, are you?
No,
You could come to an arrangement, surely.
Maybe.
Don't do it, Rhydian. Don't let him
No,
do it.
of course.
Hey, I'm impressed with the makeover for the role because, I mean, known for your wonderful blonde hair, I'm looking at the photographs that you've sent through of yourself in character, long black locks. How do you like being a brunette?
I'm not sure. I think I just might keep it for the production and then do away with it. But, answers on a postcard.
You look completely different, though.
I do, yeah.
Isn't it incredible how the look, the look makes you look almost Johnny Depp-like, it was suggested this morning.
It's very kind. I'm not sure that Johnny would appreciate that, but I guess it's Victorian England it's set in, so having peroxide hair doesn't isn't in keeping with being a parson in Victorian England.
No.
So I've gone dark. It's long. I'm playing another villainous role because he is a baddie, really.
And did you like doing that? I mean, it's quite a conscious move into being a villain.
I often play the villain. I remember before X Factor, I was Jekyll and Hyde, Dr. Jekyll. I was Pontius Pilate and Jesus Christ Superstar. It just seems to be a recurring theme. And in the X Factor, of course, they made me into a villain, so I can't get away from it. But I quite enjoy it. Wouldn't mind playing a softer character, but the softer character is played by Jason Donovan in War of the Worlds.
Yes.
So it's a great cast this year, actually. Got Jason Donovan, Liz McClellan, ex-Atomic Kitten, is my wife in that. The original Justin Hayward from the Moody Blues, who was in the original album, he's going to be acting on stage again with us. And, of course, Jeff Wayne live on stage with his orchestra. So, yeah, I don't mind playing a villain, especially in this kind of, this play, musical, whatever you want to call it. It's pretty...
they're the interesting
pretty
roles,
dark.
aren't they? The villains, they're the ones that you have a bit of fun with, I suppose.
Yeah, I think so. And this is what it's a concert, more like a concert performance, I would say. All the lead roles are on stage about 15 to 20 minutes, and but you will hear those great songs. It's the beginning, dun 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 dun, with Richard Burton's voiceover, and then songs like Forever Autumn that Justin Hayward's going to be singing, and then the effects. What else is there? There's a 35-foot Martian fighting machine that descends from the lighting rig. It comes down and fires heat rays at the audience. You've got Liz McClellan, my wife, not in real life, I hasten to her, Beth. She levitates 30 foot into the air. And you need to do this in arenas. It's important because the West End Theatre just isn't big enough to cater for all the special effects.
And this is going on tour around Europe.
Going on tour around Europe. Starts on the 24th in Holland. Then we fly to Belgium, then Ireland. Then throughout the whole of December, we're touring around every major city around the UK. We're coming to Wales. I believe it's the 14th and 15th of
You're
the CIA.
absolutely right. Very well remembered. I've got some dates here. So Rhydian's at the Manchester Evening News Arena on the 5th of December, Liverpool Echo Arena the 7th of December, Birmingham National Indoor Arena on the 9th, and you're right, in Cardiff at the Cardiff International Arena on the 14th and 15th of December.
Yeah,
Busy.
Yeah, it is busy. And then when I finish War of the Worlds, I'm going to a show. I'm doing a show at the O2 in London with the Broadway star Ruthie Henshaw on the 23rd. And I'm doing a couple of shows with Hayley Westner, Christmas shows again. So I'm busy until Christmas Day, pretty much.
It's amazing we got you in here.
We'll talk more to Rhydian, because we want to chat to you about X Factor and all sorts of other things. Rhydian Roberts is here. Jamie and Louise with you on BBC Radio Wales, 11:15. This is...
No. There we are. We've cleared that up. Rhydian Roberts is with us. He says here, singer from Sunnybridge. Sounds nice, doesn't it?
Do you ever get back to Sunnybridge? We had your mother in the studio a while back. She was on good form.
Ah, I love her.
her.
Saw her last night. Yeah, I do. I make more time to go back home now. I remember the first year after X Factor, it was chock-a-block, and I just didn't get home. And I think your family miss you. So I love going back home. Bit of R&R.
Yeah, sure. Talking of X Factor, do you still watch X Factor? Do you get into it?
I don't get into it.
No.
I did last year.
Yeah.
But this year I don't get. I've seen the talent, most of it.
And?
It was Wagner. It's got to be. Isn't it?
Yes!
Wagner for number one. I've heard, isn't it?
Oh, dear.
No, it's very much an entertainment show now, isn't it? And
What do you mean by that, Rhydian?
well, I think it started out as a
Talent show?
talent singing competition, and it's more of a kind of cabaret entertainment show, which is fine. It brings in viewers, and like ITV are laughing, I would have thought.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
Hugely popular.
There's, I think, 3 with star quality potential.
Who are those 3 for you?
For me, I would say the youngster Cher has some sort of pop star quality, I would say. And Simon likes her, which is a huge coup. I mean, to have him on your side is massive. That guy Matt seems to be very likable, and he has a good voice.
What about Rebecca? Do you like Rebecca, the girl from Liverpool? Yeah,
Yeah, she's very good as well.
yeah, she's nice.
But I haven't seen much of her.
Okay.
You see, the press play a huge part as well. I mean, if some of these people are in the tabloids all the time, like Wagner, he's going to stay in a while, whether you love it or hate it.
Yeah. And what about the voting thing last week, where two of Cheryl's girls, Tracy and Katie, were up, and she didn't vote, did she? So it meant that Tracy went out. I mean, surely Cheryl, she's a judge on the panel. She should have voted, shouldn't she? You can't just opt out of it.
Well, you see, the problem is with Cheryl is she can do no wrong. So I wonder whether Louis, if he did the same thing, whether there'd be more uproar. Would you say? I think so.
Yeah, I think you're right.
How important was the whole gig to you and the direction of your career? Because you're kind of going off in different places now, aren't you? Almost as if you're sort of reacting against the package that was X Factor.
Yeah, I never really fit the mould of X Factor, and I never did from the beginning. But for me, it was a huge audition and a platform, and that's what I wanted it to be. I always wanted to be a recording artist as well, and I've managed to do that. But theatre-wise, there's no better audition. I wouldn't want to just do that show and then get into theatre just because you're a well-known face. You still have to, like, I'm doing We Will Rock You in March at the Millennium Centre, which I can't wait for. And I went to two auditions for that. Ben Elton had seen me on X Factor, so yeah, come to the audition. So I went. And then the second audition was in front of Ben Elton and the boys from Queen, Brian May and Roger Taylor. And it was a huge day for me because I'm a huge Queen fan. And so I still had to turn it in and deliver, because if I didn't, they would have said, thanks, but no thanks. But it's given me the opportunity to do that. And I guess being a name, it puts bottoms on seats. But I guess recording is my main thing. Live touring, solo tours, I love. I've got an album coming out in the end of February, and so hopefully that'll lead to a live solo tour. And the theatre's great in between. I mean, I love being in a cast.
But I guess X Factor kind of makes the artists what X Factor wants them to be, rather than perhaps what the singers want to be. I just wonder if that's happened to you, and do you feel now that you're doing the kind of stuff that you always wanted to do?
Yes, definitely. I mean, especially when I do like one-off gigs and stuff, I will do what I want to do. X Factor, yeah, you have to. If Simon Cowell will have a set idea of how he wants to mould you. Sure. And for me, I came off a show where I was an entertainer and a showman, and then my albums were quite, I would say, crossovery. They weren't so showman, and so I'm going to introduce that into my next album more, because it lends itself better for a live performance, I would say.
So we've got War of the Worlds, you've got the album. Where are we going to see you go in the future? Are we going to see you doing things like Strictly, something like that? The Jungle?
Definitely not the Jungle.
Why?
I wouldn't go in the Jungle because there's no kettle for tea. there isn't a gym, although I'd have to sort of do pull-ups on a branch or something. Also, eating insects.
That doesn't appeal?
Doesn't appeal to me, no.
No, me neither.
A reality TV, Strictly is probably the best one to go on.
Really? You might sort of sign up to Strictly?
Well, I think It
appeals?
Yeah, I think Strictly is
I think you do
glitz
well
and
on
glamoury, and yeah, it depends if it works out with. I mean, I've got a TV series in the pipeline as well at the end of next year, and hey, Strictly haven't even asked, so but.
Well, if you ever need any advice on ballroom dancing, he's your man.
Any advice at all?
Yeah.
Really?
Absolutely.
He's rubbish.
Oh,
unkind, isn't it? If you had any idea what I have to work with.
I've heard Derek Brockway's amazing now.
We all danced for Children in Need last year, and you've noticed we haven't been asked back.
No, we haven't.
It's odd, isn't it?
It's very odd. Very surprising indeed. How remarkable.
Rhydian, it's lovely to see you. We wish you every success with War of the Worlds. You can see War of the Worlds at Cardiff CIA on the 14th and 15th of December. If you're listening in North Wales, it's in Manchester at the Evening News Arena on the 5th of December, and Liverpool Echo Arena on the 7th of December. Birmingham sees it at the National Indoor Arena on the 9th of December. And our thanks this morning to Rhydian Roberts, and we'll play out with you singing The Impossible Dream. Good to see you.
Thanks, guys.